Nick Chubb is expected to sign with the Texans today, pending a physical. That's according to our Jonathan Jones. Now, Chubb spent the first 7 years of his career in Cleveland. He's only played 10 games the last 2 years after tearing his ACL in 2023 and breaking his foot last season. Looking at his stats and where he stands among some of the best, just something of note, his 6,843 career rushing yards and 51 rushing touchdowns both rank third in Browns franchise history. Bryant McFadden, our Super Bowl champ, he is back with us right now. So we got Nick Chubb, we got the Texans. Jonathan Jones put it out on social that the Texans will have Chubb in for a visit and a physical today. It is expected that a signing will take place afterwards. So nearing a new home, we are waiting for this news to officially come down. And when it is official, B-Mac, do you like the fit?
Yeah, I love the fit from either side of this potential signing. And here's why. For the Houston Texans, this is a low-risk, high-reward type of deal. In terms of financial leverage, honestly, Nick Chubb has none because he didn't show you the old Nick Chubb from a year ago. But if you're the Houston Texans, if he can get back to showing flashes of the Nick Chubb before the injuries, now just think about the backfield duo that you would have. Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb. We oftentimes got to go back and reflect a little bit, Jenny. From 2019 to 2022, Nick Chubb averaged over 1,300 rushing yards per season. That was his average, along with 10 rushing touchdowns. He was a book-end running back to give you at least 1,300 yards per season. But you can tell a year ago he was still trying to get his legs underneath him. And this could be the year that he ultimately gets back to being 100%. And if you're the Houston Texans, you take that and you run with it. Because if, as a defender, I would not want to face Joe Mixon, who already runs with a bad attitude. And then here comes Nick Chubb, who's highly motivated to show the NFL world, I'm back to being him. So this makes all the sense in the world because, like I said, Jenny, it's a low-risk, high-reward type of deal. How many of us would sign up for a low-risk, high-reward? All of us. In Houston, they're on the verge of doing that today.
I'll sign up for it. That's easy right there. You add in Damian Pierce on that as well. I mean, it's just that backfield. Woo! We could get our first glimpse at Chubb in a Texans uniform coming up on June 10th. That's what minicamp is starting up. So we're going to keep it with the Texans in this segment. CJ Stroud currently not throwing at OTAs. He's managing some soreness in his shoulder. So that news coming after he dealt with a tight pectoral muscle 2 weeks ago at practice. This is not expected to be a long-term issue for Stroud. They're just taking extra precautions around their franchise quarterback. But where is your concern level when it comes to CJ Stroud, B-Mac?
Well, right now, Jenny, I'm okay, I think.
You think?
Now, the one alarming thing is that he's not allowed to throw at all. Even on air, you know, just on a quick hitch, slow motion, walk-through drills. He's not doing any of that. But they've emphasized, coming from Houston, that there's no reason to be concerned. So hearing that, I'm going to take that for face value. Now, Jenny, once training camp starts, if we're hearing the same thing in terms of they're just holding him out because they're being overly cautious, still has some soreness, no reason to be alarmed. If we're hearing the same thing, he's not throwing any passes, forget about high velocity passes, just throwing any throwing motion, then I would be concerned. But right now, Texans fans, I'm not going to alarm you. I'm going to listen to everything that's coming from the building. They're just being overly cautious with their star quarterback. So let's go ahead and enjoy the fruits of your labor in the rest of the summertime. But once camp starts, if we're hearing the same thing, I'm not saying hit the panic button, but then you might want to be concerned because camp happens just like that before the start of the season. And you better believe for Houston to be at their best, you got to have CJ in the lineup, Jenny, a healthy CJ.
B-Mac, I feel like you're not buying this.
I'm kind of not.
Yeah.
I am, but we still got time, right? What? We're in the month of what? It's June, right?
It's June.
Yeah, it's June. I'm sorry, the days go on and on for me. So you literally got a whole almost a month and a half before camp starts. So I'm just weighing the timeline to help me get over this. But I'm to your, you're right. To your point, your statement, I'm not really buying all of this. Even if it's on a clearance rack, I'm not buying all of it.
Well, we'll wait to see if we see him at training camp. Now all eyes are on him regardless, but B-Mac a little bit worried. All right, we're going to continue on with the Texans. Diggs traded to the New England Patriots. There's still some uncertainty when it comes to Tank Dell's injury status. So the Texans, they drafted two, not one, but two Iowa State receivers. They got Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel over there. How do those guys help fill that void?
Well, they're going to be productive players, and the Houston Texans will need both players to be productive because of the lack of depth at the wide receiver position. You know, when you look at the injuries they're dealing with, you know, Jaden Higgins potentially is like a Nico Collins clone. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", over 200 pounds, a big body wide receiver, loves to win the 50-50 opportunities, and also get behind coverages, and that's what we've seen from Nico Collins. And Jalen Noel is more of a shifty guy, but he's well put together. I mean, he's a well put together guy, can really make people miss and kind of do damage in between the 20s. And when you look at what has happened from a year ago with the Houston Texans at the wide receiver position, to your point, moving on with Stephon Diggs, they need some bodies. You know, they're going to have to need John Mechie III also to show up. You know, former second-round pick from years ago. He has to show up to be a consistent pass receiver, pass catcher for this offense, because this is a team that has a bullseye on their chest because of the recent success we've seen, especially in their division. But I like both former Cyclones. Both guys have really shown the ability to make routine plays happen routinely. And that's all you want to see happen, Jenny. Routine plays happen routinely, because if you do that in a consistent way, you will always be in positions to win more than lose.
Just make it look easy. Right? That's all you got to do. Just make it look easy out there. We're going to look at the other side of the ball now. The Texans boasting the best pass defense in the 2024 season. What are your expectations when it comes to this 2025 squad?
Keep going upward. To your point, they were outstanding. I mean, Derek Stingley Jr. played his way into that elite cornerback conversation. It's Pat Surtain Jr. and Derek Stingley. What he did a year ago, I mean, 18 PBUs, pass defenses, right? 5 interceptions. Not only was Derek Stingley the guy making a lot of noise in the secondary, but his background singer stood up. Kalen Bullock, rookie year, 5 interceptions, 11 PBUs. When you look at Kamari Lassiter, rookie also, 3 interceptions, 10 PBUs. And then to add more pizzazz to the group they already had in place, I know it was the Jackson 5, so they brought in another member in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Remember what he did for the Super Bowl champions a year ago for the Eagles? 6 interceptions, 12 PBUs. Those 4 guys alone have been known to steal Wilson from the opposing team. You know who Wilson is, Jenny?
Did you just say pizzazz? Is that like a new word? Before we get to that?
I just thought
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Do you know who Wilson is, Jenny? You know who Wilson is?
Like Wilson?
Wilson. That's the
ball. Yeah, yes.
They steal Wilson. Yeah. They don't go after Wilson. They go steal it. And that's the one thing you want to do in terms of being applauded for. If you're going to steal something, let it be Wilson from an opposing team. They have 4 of the best robbers in the NFL in their secondary when you factor in C.J., Kamari, Bullock, and Derek Stingley. They do it, and they don't put a mask on their face when they're going to steal Wilson from opposing teams. They let you know who did it. And if you got anything to say about it, just don't throw the football their way.
Dang, I'm going to steal Wilson. All right, I want to pull up their schedule coming up in 2025. So 10-7 last season. What games do you have circled here? Give me some predictions. Give me some expectations of how the Texans' year is going to play out.
Oh, let's start right out the gate. Let's circle the Rams game. 2 playoff caliber teams, 2 coaches that I respect heavily. That's going to be a playoff-like environment. What about Tampa? I mean, week 1 and week 2, we're going to see everything we need to see in terms of the Houston Texans and what they can do the rest of the way. Of course, the Baltimore Ravens, can they get their lick back? Jenny, you remember what Baltimore did to Houston Christmas Day a year ago when they had Beyonce perform at halftime?
I was focused on Beyonce.
Yeah, she wasn't the only one performing. Lamar Jackson performed as well. But Can they get their lick back against the Baltimore Ravens? And of course, you got the Bulls. I mean, not the Bulls, I'm sorry. The Buffalo Bills. They have some playoff caliber teams, but I can say this though, Jenny, it's a very intriguing schedule. But in terms of where they are in their division, I potentially see a double-digit win season for DeMeco Ryans and company. And here's why. The AFC South is Houston and everyone else. Everyone else is trying to figure things out. We do believe Jacksonville should be a more competitive team, right? With the additions, of course, the new coaching staff, the quarterback being healthy, Travis Hunter, but they're still chasing the Houston Texans. And the last time I checked, yes, you can talk about the turnover at the wide receiver position, but C.J. Stroud, as we see it today, will be healthy. Nico Collins isn't going anywhere. Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter, and the 4 robbers that I just mentioned in the secondary, they're not going anywhere. I see them winning 10 games, definitely taking advantage of their division, being able to win their division, the AFC South, and clearly get into the playoffs.
10-7 once again, AFC South champs once again. B-Mac calling it right now, and you best believe we're going to be chatting about this team and all the other teams in the league on CBS Sports HQ. We will have you covered every step of the way as we gear up for the NFL season. Keep it locked right here on HQ for all the latest.